the Pantanal more than just a swamp. It is a masterpiece of nature, where every soaring bird, every swaying branch, every ripple of water contributes to a vivid and enchanting ecological picture. From large birds such as the gray stork, painted heron, and pelican, to small birds with brilliant colors such as the fire tanager, the meadow sparrow, or the tropical nightingale, the Pantanal is a non-stop stage of captivating performances, where the harmony of nature resonates throughout the four seasons. The chirping of birds at dawn. The romantic courtship dances during the breeding season. The graceful flights between the grasslands and the deep blue sky. All create an atmosphere that is both poetic and majestic, a powerful testament to the fierce vitality of wild nature. But the Pantanal is not only beautiful. It is essential. Covering more than 150,000 square kilometers, the Pantanal is one of the largest and richest wetlands on the planet. It is home to millions of species of plants and animals, including rare and iconic creatures such as jaguars, caimans, giant otters, red Arapaima, and hundreds of unique bird species. The Pantanal is not only a haven for life, it is also a green lung that regulates the regional and global climate. Its flooded forests, dense vegetation, and moist soils contain large amounts of carbon, playing a vital role in absorbing CO2, mitigating the effects of climate change. However, this paradise is under threat. Deforestation, slash-and-burn agriculture, chemical pollution, and climate change are slowly depleting the Pantanal. Once fertile lands, once home to countless species, are now facing unusual floods, prolonged droughts, declining water quality, and a loss of biodiversity. Every lost bird, every dried-up stream, it is a warning sign. Life here is suffering. And that suffering is not just for the Pantanal, it is for all of humanity. If the Pantanal collapses, the global natural balance will be affected. More violent storms, longer droughts, and the disappearance of hundreds of precious species, it will not be a story just for Brazil or South America, it will be a problem for the entire planet. We, even thousands of miles away from the Pantanal, are benefiting from what it provides: a stable climate, clean air, and a balanced global ecosystem. Therefore, protecting the Pantanal is not the prerogative of one country, it is a shared responsibility of the whole world. Sustainable policies, international cooperation, public education, and concrete actions are needed to preserve this precious wetland. We need to change the way people farm, manage resources, and view nature not as something to exploit, but as something to live with and respect. The Pantanal is a gift. A gift from the earth, from nature, from millions of years of evolution and balance. And like any precious gift, it can be lost. If we do not act today, maybe tomorrow the chirping of birds in the grasslands will only be an echo in our memories. Let's protect the Pantanal for life, for nature, and for ourselves. The Pantanal does not need humans to survive. But humans, if they want to continue to survive, must protect lands like this. In the heart of wild South America, where rivers crisscross like veins and flooded forests stretch endlessly, there exists a dark and mysterious world, the Pantanal Swamp, a land of water, mud, and life. This place is not only famous for its pristine beauty, but also the territory of the strangest predators on the planet. And in that seemingly peaceful murky water, a small creature is hiding, the piranha. Don't let appearances fool you. Under that small body is a perfect hunting machine, designed by millions of years of evolution, delicate, ruthless, and chillingly precise. Piranha, the most notorious meat fish in South America, usually only 15 to 30 centimeters long. With metallic silver scales and glowing red eyes, they are the embodiment of nightmares floating in the swamp. But what makes piranha a symbol of terror is its mouth. Their teeth, razor sharp, are arranged like circular saws. Each bite can tear through a piece of meat in a split second. And if a tooth breaks, no problem. A new one will grow in its place, ready for the next hunt. In addition, the piranha's jaw muscles are so powerful that biologists have described them as tiny steel traps, powerful enough to crush small bones or slice through flesh with a single bite. Alone, piranhas are dangerous enough. But when they hunt in packs, they become a deadly storm underwater. Imagine a large animal, perhaps a baby crocodile, a fallen bird, or even a wounded wild boar struggling in the current. In a matter of seconds, the water begins to move. From all sides, schools of piranhas rush in, like swimming blades. They tear apart their prey at a terrifying speed, dividing each piece of meat, biting and retreating, then pouncing again. Within minutes, the prey disappears without a trace, leaving only a few white bones and a trail of blood that dissolves into the murky water. Microphone, behavior explanation, ecosystem analysis. However, piranhas are not always as aggressive as the legends say. Under normal conditions, they are quite reserved and even afraid of loud noises. They are omnivorous, meaning they not only hunt live prey, but also eat plants, carrion, insects, and even fallen fruit. Therefore, the ecological role of piranhas is extremely important, like the cleaners of the Pantanal ecosystem, helping to keep this water clean and balanced. However, everything changes when the dry season comes. The water recedes. Ponds turn into small puddles. Fish are crowded, living space is limited. And food sources severely scarce. That is when the survival instinct arises. The piranha school becomes more aggressive, ready to attack anything that can be eaten, including its own kind. The world has long portrayed piranha as a bloodthirsty monster, a legendary killer, from movies to stories. But the truth is less scary and much more interesting. Piranha is not the madman of the water. They are perfect creatures in their role, both predators, biological scave. When the first tropical rains hit the Pantanal, the parched marshlands suddenly awaken. The cracked earth is filled with rainwater. Rivers burst their banks. Water overflows everywhere, turning forests and plains into a newly formed sea, stretching as far as the eye can see. And in the rising waters, a silent migration begins, not of birds, not of large animals, but of tiny creatures, crustaceans and freshwater snails, the silent souls of the wetland ecosystem. Two important crustaceans in the Pantanal, freshwater shrimp and swamp crabs, often take advantage of the floodwaters to move into newly flooded areas, where they find abundant food and ideal breeding grounds. Where there were once dry tree roots, there is now a forest of still water. And the crustaceans, sensitive to the changes in tides and currents, immediately swim in to occupy the new lands under the water. There they find nutrient-rich humus, microalgae, and decaying plant matter, a biological feast that unfolds every second. Crustaceans are not just opportunists. They are vital links in the ecosystem. Marsh crabs burrow into the mud, stirring up the bottom soil, promoting nutrient cycling. Freshwater shrimp filter algae, microorganisms and debris from the water column, helping to naturally clean the water. They are both biofilters and an important food source for birds, fish, electric eels, otters and juvenile crocodiles. At the same time, freshwater snails, especially those endemic to the Pantanal, also enter a period of rapid growth. They typically live in shallow waters, small ponds and quiet passages in flooded forests. There, the slow currents and abundant light, ideal conditions for the algae that are their main food source. Freshwater snails don't travel far, but their presence is biologically fundamental. They feed on algae, filter bacteria, process organic sludge, and in return are hunted by waterfowl, fish, lizards, and even juvenile otters. Every year, the Pantanal's flood cycle restarts, a magical ecological cycle, one in which crustaceans and freshwater snails play a fundamental role. Despite their reputation for ferocity, piranhas are not as fearsome as they are in legends or thrillers. Most of the time, they live quietly in flooded waterways, blending into the multi-layered ecosystem of the Pantanal. They have a special ability. They can survive in environments with very low oxygen levels, a condition that often occurs in the Pantanal, where long dry seasons cause the water to shrink and become rich in sediment. Not only do they survive, piranhas also maintain a strong reproductive ability, ensuring that the fish population remains stable despite harsh living conditions. In their role as apex predators, they not only control the population of small fish, but also help keep the water environment free of carrion, an essential factor in maintaining the ecological balance and biodiversity of the Pantanal. But piranhas are not the largest creatures in these waters. Beneath the calm waters of the Pantanal, another living legend lurks quietly, huge, ancient and almost surreal. Arapaima gigas, the largest freshwater fish in the Amazon and Pantanal, can grow up to 3 meters long, and weigh more than 200 kilograms. It is one of the last giants left on Earth from the early evolutionary period. The Pantanal is not just a wetland, it is a living biological pulse, where every drop of water, every branch of water hyacinth, every bird call resonates like a note in the endless symphony of life. There, flamingos with their gentle pink color, their graceful wings, like streaks of color accentuating the green background of the swamp. They are not only symbols of beauty but also guardians of purity, by purifying algae, cleaning the groundwater with their own life cycle. Bald-headed storks quiet, devoted, stepping lightly in the shallow water, like diligent guardians of the flow. Not ostentatious, not flashy, but indispensable to keep the environment balanced and stable. And the pink spoonbill, the graceful artist of the Pantanal, gently sweeps its spoonbill across the water, sketching a vivid picture with each movement. They are living proof of the subtlety of nature's evolutionary mechanism, where beauty and function go hand in hand. Thousands of birds. Millions of flapping wings. Every day, every season, every ebb and flow cycle they fly home, nest, give birth, hunt and continue life. All not just to survive but to maintain a fragile but precious balance that the Pantanal ecosystem is preserving. They do not need human attention. They exist silently but with great influence. Because their very presence is a measure of the health of the environment. And perhaps, amid the turmoil of the modern world, nature is whispering a simple thing. Nature does not need humans to survive. But humans, if they want to continue to live in harmony and sustainability, must learn to listen. Listen to the calls from the swamp. Listen to every flap of wings from the sky. Listening to the precious silence of an ecosystem whose patience is running out. Because when the birds stop coming back, that's when we know we've gone too far. Baldy-headed stork, the silent man of the swamp. Not as flashy as the flamingo, the bald stork, also known as Mycteria americana, stands out for its strange appearance and surprising way of survival. They have smooth white feathers, wide wings with pale pink patches on the edges, and especially a hairless head, smooth, orange or ash-gray skin. This is not a shortcoming of nature, but a smart evolutionary design. The bald head helps the stork easily burrow into the mud, hunting fish and crustaceans without getting its feathers dirty. Their long, straight and slightly curved beak is a great tool for diving deep into shallow water, catching prey with a lightning-fast clamp. They often stand still for hours in shallow water, waiting for the slightest movement, then suddenly dart their beaks down at an almost imperceptible speed, catching fish, frogs, or insects in a split second. During the breeding season, bald storks nest in tall trees near the water's edge, choosing a location with good visibility to avoid predators such as crocodiles or jaguars. Each nest can contain 3 to 5 eggs, which are incubated by both parents. The chicks are fed soft, partially digested food from their parents after hatching. Not loud, not flashy, but bald storks are an indispensable part of the Pantanal. They regulate the population of small fish and aquatic animals, keeping the water clean and balanced. Pink spoonscreen, the silent artist of the swamp. When the late afternoon sun falls on the water, you may come across another creature that also dyes the space pink, the pink spoonbill, Platylia jaja. This bird has a strange and attractive beauty, bright pink plumage, soft wide wings, tall legs and especially a long, flat, spoon-like beak. It is this beak that is the most unique hunting weapon in the world of waterfowl. When foraging, the pink spoonbill sweeps its beak across the shallow water, constantly fanning to stir up the creatures at the bottom, and as soon as it touches a shrimp, small fish, or insect, the beak immediately clamps down and brings the prey into its mouth. They hunt with a rhythm like a dance, smooth, soft, and efficient. The pink spoonbill usually lives in shallow water with lots of aquatic plants, where crustaceans and insects thrive. They build their nests on bushes near the water's edge or the edge of the forest, built from dry branches and leaves, quite sturdy. Each season, the female lays 2 to 4 eggs, and the parents take turns incubating and caring for the chicks with a partially digested, nutritional soup in their crop. Not only is it a beautiful bird, the pink spoonbill is also a biological indicator of the stability of the marshland, because only when the water environment is clean enough, plants grow well and crustaceans are abundant, can they survive and reproduce. As the first light of day sweeps across the waters of the Pantanal, a symphony of nature begins to play. Birds spread across the sky like brushstrokes, painting a wild canvas pristine white, soft pink, pale brown, and bright orange. Their resonant calls blend with the sound of flowing water and the rustling of leaves in the wind, creating a breathtaking scene that cannot be replicated anywhere else in the world. Welcome to the Pantanal, a bird paradise. Here, amid shallow streams brimming with silt and life, is home to more than 1,000 species of birds, from common waterfowl to rare and beautiful creatures that exist only in a few places on Earth. Chile flamingo, the sunny beauty of the flood. One of the most prominent species here is the Chilean flamingo, also known as Phoenicopterus chilensis. With pale pink feathers, long legs and a beak curved down like a sickle, flamingos have both the grace of a dancer and the mystery of mythical creatures. They live in flocks of hundreds of individuals, forming mobile pale pink patches in the vast water. During the rainy season, when water floods in all directions, flamingos move throughout the Pantanal, choosing shallow lakes rich in minerals to feed on. Their main food is algae, small crustaceans and plankton rich in carotenoids, natural chemicals that help create the characteristic pink color of their feathers. The flamingo's distinctive curved bill allows it to filter food from mud and shallow water, a unique hunting skill unique to the species. It uses the tip of its bill like a sophisticated comb, digging into the mud, filtering each drop of water through this natural biological filter to retain food. During the breeding season, flamingos build raised mud nests that resemble small conical mounds, each usually containing just one egg. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs and feeding the chicks semi-digested food. As the chicks grow, the flock migrates with the water, following the changes in the environment in a rhythmic, almost organic way. Flamingos not only add color to the Pantanal wetlands, they also maintain a biological balance by controlling the growth of algae and plankton. As the snake's neck basks in the sun after a hunt, a white shadow glides gently across the water like a wisp of smoke. It is one of the Pantanal's most elegant creatures, the white stork wyanba. In the morning light or at dusk, its pure white body almost glows. 85 to 100 centimeters long, with a wingspan of up to 1.7 meters, the white stork possesses an elegant yet powerful beauty. Each step it takes on the mud is a gentle dance, as if each movement is scripted by nature itself. It is not difficult to recognize the white stork in the flooded forests of the Pantanal. Its entire body is covered in pure white feathers, its neck is long, its legs are long, its beak is yellow or black, all of which create a strangely graceful figure. When it stands motionless among the flooded grass, we think it is a living sculpture. The white stork chooses to live in marshes, ponds, and riverbanks, shallow places with lots of aquatic plants. In the Pantanal, where life is abundant and seasonal, this is a true paradise for this bird. The flooded environment is rich in plankton, algae, crustaceans and small fish, creating a rich food source all year round. When hunting, the white stork shows a level of patience. It stands still as if frozen, its eyes peering through the water, its neck curved like a fishing rod, waiting for the right moment. And then with a sudden lunge, its beak clamps down on the small fish. Everything happens so quickly that the human eye barely has time to react. It does not hunt with strength, but with absolute precision. Fish, frogs, small crustaceans, even aquatic insects are all ideal food sources. And by controlling the underwater prey population, the white stork contributes to maintaining the ecological balance in this sensitive marsh system. During the breeding season, the forests and lagoons of the Pantanal become the stage for a beautiful courtship dance. The male birds spread their wings, fluff their feathers, and perform graceful movements to attract a mate. The nests are built high in the bushes near the water, where there is both food and shelter from predators. Each nest usually contains 2 to 5 eggs, and both parents take turns incubating and caring for the young. The young birds grow up, learn to stretch their necks, flap their wings, and finally take off into the vast world of the marsh, continuing the endless ecological cycle. The presence of white storks is not only a beautiful feature in the natural picture, but also a valuable biological indicator of the health of the aquatic environment. They only survive well in places with healthy aquatic systems, where the lifeblood is still intact. In the Pantanal, where giant otters hunt in the reeds, crocodiles lie quietly in wait among the duckweed, and black eagles soar overhead, the white stork is a symbol of peace. Not noisy, not aggressive, but still an essential part of the giant ecological clock that ticks with precision every second. In the wind blowing through the In the still waters of the Pantanal marshes, where the trees hang down over the water, where the light shimmers through the water fern, a mysterious creature appears and disappears, as if it were an illusion. A long neck glides through the water. A pointed head emerges, and then disappears without a sound. They are called snake necks by the locals because of their long, serpentine necks, but in fact, they are one of the most unique waterbirds in South America, the anhinga. Anhingas have a distinctive appearance, almost unlike any other bird in the Pantanal. They have long, slender bodies, ranging from 70 to 90 centimeters in length, with a wingspan of up to 1.2 meters. Their light weight, only about 1 to 2 kilograms, allows them to glide easily through flooded grasses or quiet river stretches. The most obvious identifying feature is the long, slender, snake-like neck, combined with a sharp, needle-like beak, the perfect weapon for piercing the water and stabbing prey. Anhingas' feathers are dark, usually shiny black on males, while females have a paler neck and head. But what makes them stand out the most is not their feathers, but their unique underwater behavior. Unlike most other waterfowl such as storks and herons, which wait for prey from the shore, the anhinga is a true underwater hunter. They dive deep, swimming silently using their webbed feet as paddles, and use their long, springy necks to stab fish with their sharp beaks. Once they have pinned their prey, the anhinga rises to the surface, deftly shakes the prey from its beak, and swallows it whole in one powerful gulp. They hunt small fish, eels, aquatic insects, and sometimes soft crustaceans. The anhinga's mastery of underwater control has led many to compare it to a winged snake, or even a ghost under the water. Unlike ducks or swans, anhinga feathers are not waterproof. This may seem like a disadvantage, but it helps them dive deeper and swim more easily, thanks to the elimination of natural buoyancy. However, this also forces them to dry their feathers in the sun after each hunt. You will easily come across an anhinga standing on a dead tree trunk, spreading its wings in a T-shape, catching the sun and wind, a strange and majestic posture, as if it were dominating the peaceful swamp. That moment not only helps them dry their feathers, but also regulates their body temperature, recovering their strength after long dives. Anhingas often live near freshwater areas rich in aquatic plants, especially flooded forests, swamps, or along the banks of large lakes and rivers in the Pantanal. They nest in tall shrubs near water, lay 2 to 6 eggs at a time, and both parents care for their young. Young birds are born with the instinct to swim and hunt, but need time to learn to dive and hunt with the same precision as their parents. In the Pantanal ecosystem, anhingas play a role in controlling populations of small fish and aquatic life, helping to maintain the balance between trophic levels. In this way, despite their small size, they contribute to the stability and biodiversity of the world's largest wetland. Anhingas have no distinctive songs. They do not spread their wings in a flashy way, but they leave a strong impression with their quiet and efficient work. They remind us that you don't have to stand out to be important. Sometimes the most mysterious creatures are the most indispensable factors in the cycle of nature. In an ever-changing world, anhinga still swims quietly, hunts, raises its young. As if to tell us, nature does not need noise, only balance. In the vast Pantanal wetlands where water, trees and sky seem to merge, there are small but colorful creatures, like brilliant pieces of a puzzle dotted on the deep blue picture. They do not have the long wingspan of flamingos, nor are they as tall as bald ibis. But with just a soft cry, a careful tilt of the head, you are attracted by their agility and strangeness. They are kingfishers, the uncompromising fish hunters of the wetlands. Kingfishers are a group of birds in the Alcedinidae family, widespread in the tropical forests and wetlands of South America, especially in the Pantanal, one of the richest wetlands on the planet. There are a variety of kingfishers living here, but the most prominent are Amazonian kingfisher, Chlorocerile amazona, a compact bird with sparkling turquoise plumage, a white chest with orange or yellow markings, and bright black eyes. And the giant kingfisher, Megacerile torquata. Larger and more robust, with a deep steely blue color, a fiery orange belly, and a long, spear-like beak, ready to dive straight into the water. From a distance, they look like pieces of blue or cyan metal, reflecting the sunlight as they perch quietly on a branch near the water. The compact body, short but strong wings, and especially the long, straight and extremely strong beak, have helped this bird become a master of underwater hunting. Their body length ranges from 15 to 30 centimeters depending on the species. They have keen eyes, the ability to detect underwater movements in a split second, something that is almost impossible for humans. The way kingfishers hunt is unlike any other bird. They usually sit motionless on a branch that juts out over the water, quietly observing, without a single unnecessary movement. When they spot prey, a small fish, a shrimp or an insect swimming in the murky water, they dive straight down like a live arrow. No hesitation. No warning. In a split second, the sharp beak tears through the water, piercing the muddy water, and when it emerges, the prey is already in its beak. It all happens in a matter of seconds, precise, neat and surprisingly efficient. A flight. A dive. A shake of the head. The meal is neatly handled, and the kingfisher returns to its position, waiting again. Kingfishers are not just killers of the aquatic world, they are also ingenious ecological engineers. They usually nest in hollows on riverbanks, or under trees near water, where they have easy access to food. Their nests are dug deep into the soft soil, out of the sight of predators. Female kingfishers lay 3 to 6 eggs in each nest, and both parents take turns incubating and caring for the chicks. When the chicks emerge, they are fed fresh fish, insects and aquatic animals, a nutritious diet that helps them grow quickly. By hunting well and maintaining biological pressure on small fish populations, kingfishers help control the aquatic population, keeping the Pantanal wetland ecosystem stable. Kingfis. In the silence of the Pantanal flooded forests, where the canopy of trees casts shadows over the murky brown water, there are creatures that make no noise, do not hunt prey, but play a key role in the cycle of life. Red-brocked deer ***, small, discreet and reserved, treads lightly on the carpet of rotting leaves, almost blending into the landscape. With a modest stature and a reddish-brown coat like the sunset, this deer chooses a solitary lifestyle, wandering through low bushes and wetlands in search of food. Young leaves, wild fruits and soft shrubs are their source of life. Whenever there is a quiet forest, the red deer will quietly appear. They are the natural gardeners, eating and dispersing seeds, helping plants spread across this vast swamp. Not far away, the sound of heavy footsteps and mucky squelching signals the arrival of the Tyra peccary. There are 2 species endemic to the Pantanal. Peccary tajaku, a smaller species, commonly known as the whitetail peccary, and Tyasa peccary, a larger species that lives in tightly organized social groups. Tyra herds can number up to a dozen individuals, moving through the forest, foraging tirelessly. They dig for tubers, graze on shrubs, and make use of fallen fruits after the rainy season. When faced with predators such as jaguars or crocodiles, the herd can turn and fight back, a survival strategy rarely seen in herbivores. Each of these species, from solitary deer to social wild boar, plays a unique role in the Pantanal's biological symphony. They control vegetation, disperse seeds, provide prey for predators, and help maintain the structure of entire ecosystems. In a rapidly changing world where plows plow forests and dams block natural flows, the quiet existence of herbivores like deer and wild boar is a reminder that the balance of nature begins with the simplest things. When night falls on the Pantanal, the world is plunged into total darkness. No more sunlight filtering through the forest canopy, no more birds chirping, only the sound of water trickling and the quiet movements of the deep mud. It is in this seemingly silent place that a creature carrying a deadly electric current begins its journey. The electric eel, Electrophorus electricus, is one of the strangest and most dangerous predatory fish in South America. With an average length of up to 1.8 meters, and can reach 2.5 meters, weighing about 10 to 20 kilograms, the electric eel has a smooth, elongated body like a strip of living black silk. Its dark brown or ash-gray skin helps it hide easily in the murky waters of the Pantanal. With no distinct dorsal or pectoral fins, it swims by gently undulating its body, making almost no sound. That silence is part of the art of hunting and also preparation for a terrifying strike. What makes electric eels completely different from all other fish is not their appearance, but what is inside their bodies. Electric eels possess special electric organs, including thousands of cells called electrocytes, arranged like batteries in a biological battery. When stimulated, these cells emit electricity simultaneously, creating an electric current with a voltage of up to 600 to 800 volts, enough to instantly paralyze a fish, a frog, and can even shock humans. The Pantanal, the world's largest wetlands, is a place where life changes with the ebb and flow of the seasons. Here, the smallest creatures sometimes play the biggest roles. Squirrels, the agile treetop dwellers, are one of the key links that keep the Pantanal ecosystem running smoothly. With their compact bodies, agile climbing skills, and impressive leaps, the squirrels of the Pantanal easily reach the upper ecosystem, where ripe fruits, dried seeds, and fertile insect nests abound. When the rainy season arrives, the flooded forest canopy becomes lush and laden with food. That's when the squirrels thrive. However, what makes these animals special is not just their ability to survive, but their quiet role in sowing the seeds of new life. When storing food for the dry season, squirrels often bury seeds under moist soil or in crevices in rocks, but they do not always return to use them. Those forgotten seeds under the sun and rain of the Pantanal germinate, grow into young trees, contributing to the creation of new forests, regenerating where life once withered after the dry season. Not only that, squirrels are also an important link in the food chain, prey for predators such as jaguars, hawks, or long-necked snakes. But that also reflects the wonderful balance of nature, where no creature is superfluous. Although small, the presence of squirrels is a testament to their strong vitality and extraordinary adaptation in a complex environment like the Pantanal. Here, each of their leaps through the forest canopy is not just an act of survival, but a symphony of life, resounding in silence, to sow the green shoots of tomorrow into the Mother Earth. Amidst the vast floodplains, where the forests change between the wet and dry seasons, the Pantanal jaguar, the apex predator, walks silently like a shadow. With its golden fur studded with black rosettes, it is almost invisible among the dense undergrowth and the sunlight filtering through the foliage. It is the largest jaguar in the Americas, and the third largest cat in the world after the lion and the tiger. Adult males can grow up to 2.4 meters long and weigh nearly 100 kilograms, but it is its silence and speed that make it truly formidable. The Pantanal is ideal ground for jaguars. With an abundance of prey from capybaras, deer, to maggots, the jaguars are never short of a meal. But they are not just hunters, they are masters of the art of ambush. When stalking their prey, jaguars make almost no sound. And when the moment comes, they pounce, delivering a single bite to the skull of their prey. A deadly blow, fast, clean, and powerful. Unlike most other big cats, the Pantanal jaguar is also a skilled swimmer. It does not hesitate to dive into calm water to chase fish, or even attack Caiman crocodiles, a battle between two rulers of the swamp. This jaguar lives alone, marking and defending its own territory. It is mainly active at night or at dawn, when the sun has not yet dried the muddy water. The channels, the reed beds, and the shallows, it is the invisible hunting network that it has learned to master over thousands of years of evolution. The Pantanal jaguar is not just a predator, but a keeper of the ecological balance. It controls the population of herbivores, preventing the outbreak of disease and the destruction of natural habitats. But like many other wildlife icons, they are under pressure from humans. Forest loss, poaching, and climate change are making them increasingly rare. Keeping this silent figure in the flooded forest is not just about keeping an animal alive, it's about keeping the spirit of the Pantanal alive. Amid the lush and mystical landscape of the Pantanal, where water, grass, and forest blend together without boundaries, there is an often forgotten creature. It has no colorful fur or resounding roar. But it is one of the oldest guardians of this forest. Tapirs terrestris. Even its name suggests something strange, even a bit uncouth. But the tapir is a special creature, a living fossil, a testament to the persistence of millions of years of evolution. With a huge body, nearly 2 meters long and weighing up to 300 kilograms, the tapir has the appearance of an ancient creature left over from the Ice Age. The most prominent feature on its face is its short trunk, a perfect hybrid of a nose and an upper lip. The trunk is surprisingly flexible. It can bend down to grab young leaves, or lift up to sniff out ripe fruit among the dense vegetation. When necessary, the tapir also uses it to dive. Sinking into the murky waters of the Pantanal swamp, it breathes like an experienced diver in the heart of the forest. Tapirs are herbivores, living quietly and modestly. They do not hunt, do not fight over territory, do not show off their strength. Every day, they walk along the silent paths of the old forest, eating leaves, bark, wildflowers and fallen fruit. But what makes tapirs an indispensable part of the ecosystem lies in something much quieter: seed dispersal. When tapirs eat fruit, they swallow the seeds whole into their stomachs. The seeds are then excreted in completely new places, sometimes kilometers away from where they fell. And there, if conditions are favorable, a new life begins. Tapirs are natural gardeners, sowers of seeds for the entire forest. Alone, they cannot do much. But hundreds of them, moving silently in the darkness of the forest night, they contribute to deciding how the forest grows, how the trees are distributed, and how life is maintained. The Pantanal, with its flooded areas, interwoven rivers and rich vegetation, is an ideal place for tapirs to live. They often visit muddy riverbanks, not only to cool their bodies, but also to remove parasites. During the day, tapirs hide in the bushes. At night, when the mist begins to cover the water, they quietly step out of their shelter. But the world of tapirs is no longer as peaceful as before. Today, tapirs are facing many serious threats. Deforestation for agriculture, livestock and infrastructure construction is increasingly narrowing their habitat. New roads through the jungle, the symbol of development, are deadly traps for nocturnal creatures like the tapir. Many are killed by vehicles every year without anyone noticing. Add to that the problem of illegal hunting. Although tapir meat is not as popular as other animals, in many places they are hunted for meat, or simply because they are thought to eat up crops. An animal that has roamed the jungles of South America for millions of years is being pushed to the brink. But there is hope. In some reserves in Brazil, Pantanal, where nature breathes not only with flowing water, the croaking of frogs, or the silent footsteps of jaguars, but also with music. And that harmony is created by small birds, the nameless artists of the wild sky. When dawn is still shyly hidden behind the mist, the Pantanal is already singing. From the dense bushes, flooded grasslands, to the edges of the dense forests, each chirping and twittering sound resounds as light as a breath, as clear as the water of the source stream. It is the call of the flock, the love song, the sign that a new day has begun. Small birds such as the warbler, the sparrow, the crystal-fire tanager, with feathers of various colors from bright red, blue, to bright yellow, make the whole forest seem to be dotted with vivid rays of sunlight. They are not only beautiful, but also silent workers of the ecosystem. Every time they swoop down on a flower in search of nectar, they inadvertently transfer pollen from one tree to another, helping to maintain the natural reproductive chain. When they eat ripe fruit and deposit seeds elsewhere, they create new forests, new vegetation. Even when they sing, the sounds are not just music, they are a language of communication, warning of predators, calling for mates, signaling changes in the weather. A language of nature that humans are still trying to understand and listen to. And then, in the Pantanal skies, the most prominent characters appear: the parrots. No bird is as colorful and individual as the parrot. The red-crowned ara, the blue-ringed macaw, the brown-leafed Amazon parrot, all like flying crystals, making the sky look like a moving picture. Parrots are not only beautiful, they are intelligent. They have excellent memories, can imitate sounds and human speech, and live in organized flocks. Every call has a purpose: to warn, to call, or simply to say hello. When one bird spots a predator, the whole flock knows. When they find a sweet fruit tree, the whole flock shares. Their powerful beaks can crack hard seed pods, crush fruit, and even cut through twigs. But they're not just for eating, they're also tools for interacting with their environment, exploring, playing, and nesting. Every morning, when a flock of Arapaima takes off from the trees, arcing across the sky, the Pantanal freezes in that moment. The flapping of their wings, their distinctive calls echo through the mist, creating a wild music that's both noisy and free. But that beauty also faces danger. Deforestation for farming, illegal hunting for the pet trade, are causing parrots to decline in numbers. Many species have been listed as in need of urgent protection. But it is difficult to bind freedom. Those birds were born to fly, not to be caged. The Pantanal, with its flooded forests, winding rivers, and rich vegetation, is the last remaining home to many rare parrot species. And then there are the most colorful artists of the sky, the parrots. From the red-headed Ara parrot, the brown Amazona parrot, to the green-winged parrot, each is a living masterpiece, soaring like a sparkling puzzle piece across the deep blue of the Pantanal. Their powerful curved beaks allow them to crack hard seeds, eat fruits, flowers, and young leaves, making parrots an important part of the food chain and the regeneration of forests. They are also intelligent creatures with complex communication skills, using sounds to alert, find mates, and maintain group cohesion. A flock of Ara parrots takes off from the trees, a moment both noisy and majestic. As they fly by, the sky becomes a living painting of the wild, where each color is a reminder of how beautiful and fragile nature can be. But behind that beauty lie threats: deforestation, poaching, and climate change that are increasingly reducing their habitat. To save the birds is not only to save a part of the beauty of the Pantanal, but also to save the life, the breath, and the soul of one of the richest ecosystems on the planet. In the dense forests of the Pantanal, where sunlight filters through the leaves only silently, a mysterious predator stalks like a shadow: the Pantanal black panther. Not a separate species, the black panther is actually a color variation of the jaguar, the big cat that dominates the forests of South America. Its jet black fur is the result of melanism. The body overproduces the pigment melanin, making its fur almost completely dark. But if you look closely in the sunlight, the familiar rosette pattern still appears under the black coat, like a faint memory hidden in the night. The special fur color is not just beautiful, it is the perfect camouflage weapon. In the dense forests, dark swamps, the black panther is almost invisible. It stalks, silently, and then suddenly strikes a fatal blow. Like their yellow counterparts, black panthers hunt capybaras, deer, maggots, and even caimans when the opportunity arises. They are good climbers, good swimmers, and often travel through canals to hunt. Their independence and mystery make them a living legend of the Pantanal, a shadowy figure, protecting the fragile balance of the entire ecosystem. And in that multi-layered ecological picture, small creatures like the Pantanal squirrels play another role, silent but no less important. Thanks to the perfect combination of dense shrubs, flooded forests, and grasslands, the Pantanal is a paradise for small rodents, especially squirrels. They are agile, capable of climbing, jumping far, and perfectly adapted to the changing environment, from the wet rainy season to the harsh dry season. The canopy is their world, where they find seeds, fruits, insects, and nest in tall tree cavities. But the ground and shrubs are where the challenge lies, where they must move quickly to avoid predators like jaguars and birds of prey. Small as they are, squirrels' presence reflects the health of the entire ecosystem. They are vital links in the food chain, seed dispersers, and native creatures that are integral to the cycle of the forests and Pantanal. In the world's largest wetland, from the lurking black panther to the chatter of squirrels in the trees, each is a distinct melody in the symphony of life. Ask ChatGPT. The Pantanal, more than just a wetland. It is a biological heartbeat, where every flutter of the wind, every rustle of the leaves, every gentle step of the wild animals is a heartbeat of life. Here, nature does not just exist, it lives, breathes, connects, and heals. From the leisurely flight of the black eagle across the vast sky, from the precise bite of the kingfisher across the water, to the fluttering wings of the brilliant red-crowned parrots, or the steady gaze of the Pantanal jaguar stalking its prey in the humid dusk. All create a vivid picture where every species has a voice, whether it is just a chirp, a look, or a silent presence. The Pantanal, the green lung of South America, a priceless ecological treasure of humanity. It is home to more than 4,700 species of plants and animals, thousands of birds, fish, insects, and countless creatures unknown to humans. Each flood season, the vast region is flooded, opening up a new paradise of life. Trees revive, fish flock, birds bloom, an endless cycle of rebirth. But this beauty, seemingly eternal, is threatened every day. Deforestation, burning of fields, expansion of cultivated land are cutting the Pantanal into fragmented patches. Climate change is altering the water cycle, causing floods to come later, dry seasons to last longer. Water flows are slowing. Food sources are disappearing. Storks are no longer returning. Giant otters have no territory. Jaguars are wandering in search of shelter. The Pantanal breathing weakly. And the scariest thing, it is silent. Not the silence of nature, but the silence of humans in the face of these changes. We are losing an ecosystem that can regulate the climate, clean the water, hold the soil, support millions of species. Just in exchange for a few short-term crops, a few short-term profits. That price too high. But it is not over. The Pantanal is not dead. Nature still has the ability to recover if humans change in time. It could be a farmer who stops burning grass every dry season. It could be a filmmaker telling the magical stories of this place. It could be a child holding binoculars, seeing the blue-headed parrot for the first time in his life. It could be you, the person watching this video, choosing to share the story of the Pantanal with many others. We do not need to be heroes to protect nature. We just need to care. Just understand that every time an ecosystem is lost, we are losing a part of life. Every species that goes extinct is a broken link in the fragile balance of this planet. And if we let everything pass by in silence, our children will no longer see flamingos flying through the sunset, no longer hear the Pantanal frogs singing in the rainy night, no longer know that such a beautiful world exists simply because we did not act in time. The Pantanal does not need humans to survive. But humans very much need the Pantanal. We need the wetlands to hold water, to hold life, to hold hope. The Pantanal teaches us that. When we learn to listen to nature, we understand that everything in this universe is connected. From a small fish to a flock of migratory birds, from trees to rivers, all are one. Let's protect the Pantanal for ourselves. Not for romance. Not for beauty alone. But for the future of life on Earth. A future where nature and humans can coexist, thrive in harmony, in sustainability. If you have ever been moved by a wild scene, if you have ever smiled when you saw a little bird perched on a tree branch, if you have ever believed that there is magic in this world, then the Pantanal is the place you need to speak up for today. If you love wild nature, if the images of jungles, swamps, animals and the calls from nature move you, backhand index pointing right, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any magical journey with us. Globe showing Europe, Africa, let's explore, feel, and spread the message of protecting the Earth to more people. Thank you for joining this journey. We will meet again, in the place where nature still whispers its wonders,